The Roland S330 is a 12-bit sampler from 1987. It sounds gorgeous, crunchy, warm, unmistakably 80s. But there's a reason these machines get overlooked. Without an attached monitor and a rare Roland mouse or RC100 remote, the S330 is basically unusable. The front panel alone is difficult. Compared to a contemporary Akai sampler, which you can comfortably operate directly from the front panel, the Roland unit is challenging to use at best. So even though at current prices it's a fraction the cost of its 12-bit brethren, many S330s end up just sitting in closets. Luckily, Roland shipped the sampler with a mostly complete MIDI system-exclusive implementation that lets you talk directly to it with just a MIDI cable. Add the capability of your web browser to read and write MIDI to your computer, and you have the potential to create a web app to control the S330 with a modern user interface. So, I built one. And because it's just a web app, you can use it too. There's nothing to install, no cloud service, no account, no subscription. Just load the page, connect your MIDI interface, and start working. The first thing you do is visit audiocontrol.org, which is where it's hosted, and go to the Roland S330 editor page. Once you're there, you might need to give the app permission to use web MIDI. Then make sure the sampler is configured to listen to system-exclusive messages, and tell the app which MIDI input and output ports to use. So select your MIDI ports, and if you have a cheap USB video capture device, you can see the S330's display right here in the browser. On the sampler, enable the exclusive parameter in MIDI mode. That's what lets the editor talk to the hardware. Click Connect, and now we have two-way communication between the web editor and your device. Below the video capture display, there's also a virtual front panel that sends the same messages as the S330's physical buttons. Mode, menu, submenu, command, execute, arrow buttons, increment, decrement buttons. These work for almost every screen on the native sampler UI. A few, like the sampling screen, don't seem to respond to SysEx messages, at least not on my unit, so you'll have to use the actual front panel buttons for those. Each button on the virtual front panel has a keyboard shortcut, so you can use F1 through F5 for the menu buttons, arrow keys for navigation, plus, minus for value changes. The play page shows the 8-part multi-timbral assignments, channels, patches, levels, outputs. The first bank of patches and tones loads automatically from the device. Moving to the patches editor, you can easily rename patches without that painful front panel character entry, and adjust levels and other parameters while you listen. The editor sends updates when you release the control so the sampler doesn't get overwhelmed. And you can use the panic button if you get a stuck note. Tone mapping lets you spread samples across the keyboard however you want. Chromatic ranges for melodic parts, single keys for multi-samples, drums, or sample chops. The tone editor puts filter, LFO, and envelopes all on one page, so no hopping back and forth between multiple pages. And here's some envelope and LFO tweaking at double speed. The point is, you can actually shape sounds relatively quickly. In case you're wondering what kind of sound you can expect from this cheap and cheerful little sampler, which at the moment goes for not much more than the price of a pocket operator or a Volca sample, here's a drum loop recorded at various playback speeds and sample rates. So that's the S330 web editor, embedded video capture, virtual front panel with keyboard shortcuts, easy patch and tone naming, tone mapping across the keyboard, filter, LFO, envelopes, all in one page with a modern web UI, no CRT, no elusive Roland mouse, just a browser and a MIDI interface. If you've got an S330 collecting dust, or you want to get your hands on a low-cost 12-bit vintage sampler, maybe it's time to put it back to work. Try out the editor at audiocontrol.org. The source code is on GitHub, links in the description, and feedback is welcome. I hope you like working with this hidden gem of a sampler as much as I do. Thanks for watching.